Anywhere you go, you belong. Anywhere you say, anywhere.
Okay, what are you saying, people? How are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Hope all of you are doing well. Like always, guys, yeah, of course, we'll start with pound USD, no problemo, Mr. Bazooka. Like always, guys, share the charts you're looking at. If you're in any trades as well, share that as well. I'd take a look at it, see what's going on, see what you guys are doing in the market. If you are looking for a broker, I recommend IC Markets. Been using that for a couple of years now. Go check it out if you want to. That's my affiliate link. Feel free to use that as well. And also, if you're looking to join my Telegram, I do share my setups. Feel free to go and check that out as well. Got a link to that in the description and in the chat at the top there. But like always, another live stream. Let's see what's cooking up in the market. So we'll start with pound USD. Excuse me. Start with pound USD. Okay, so pound USD. Again, extremely bearish over the past few days. We fell over and we're kind of stalling at 1.25, and 1.25 is a level that I do have my eye on for pound USD. Overall, I'm still pretty bearish on pound. I mean, structure is still bearish, high time frame momentum is still bearish. So I do think pound can drop lower than 1.25 over the next maybe couple of weeks or so, maybe come back down to 1.23. But I do think we are due some retracement. So I'm looking for pound to climb up a little bit, or at least, maybe to 1.27, and then maybe roll over. If we're lucky, we might see a bigger push and then the rollover. But I'm still overall bearish. But I do think for a few days we could see some nice buys, and then later on, maybe a later stage of the week or maybe next week, we might continue with this downwards path. But if I go on the weekly quickly, you can see 1.25 is an area of value that we have here. See really nice resistance here, resistance there, broke to the upside, used that support briefly and then flew. So 1.25 is a strong region, which if we do break, which I'm expecting eventually, maybe not this week, 1.23, 1.21 we could be hitting, and maybe some of these lows here, which is very, very interesting for pound, because we do have all-time lows not too far away actually for pound USD, so something to take note of. But yeah, pound USD holding 1.25. So if I'm going to look to get involved with this, I need to see the structure becoming from bearish to bullish. I want to see price give me some higher highs and higher lows. So far, dropping to the hourly time frame, it does look like the market is starting to give us some higher lows, but the market is still bearish. So if you can come back and respect these areas, that could provide some nice buys to take this higher for 1.25. If we can respect this low, not take it out, respect it, form another higher low or equal lows from that, then we can use that level to start buying from and anticipate that push higher. First targets does have to be this area 1.26, because you can see now the market is coming to 1.26 and rejected it twice now. So I would definitely look to take profit at that level. We might get that breakout to 1.27 into this area here, that brief consolidation, and then we broke to the downside. So that's what I'm looking for pound to come into 1.27. But if we start stalling at 1.26 again and fail to break through, we could roll over from 1.26. But yeah, I'm mainly focused on the buys for pound. Again, I do need to see some good price action, some good bullish structure before I entertain any buys, because overall I'm still bearish. So I do need to see some good setups for me to get involved. And from 1.27, I'll probably start looking for shorts if we do get there. Of course, I'll monitor the price action. But yeah, pound USD, I'm expecting a relief. It looks like potentially we could be placing a higher low in this area here in respect to this low back there. So if you can start confirming that some higher lows, targets at 1.26, then if you can get a break 1.27 into this supply consolidation area, and then maybe from there we might roll over and get back in line for higher time frames. But I'm looking at pound seeing some upside. I don't know what your guys' opinions on pound USD. It's extremely bearish, so it's always going to be difficult to buy, especially when you got all the time frames, monthly, weekly, daily, 4H, all displaying bearish momentum. It would be nice if maybe the higher time frames were bullish and we saw this momentum, we could buy back into it. But it's always going to be difficult when you do have that type of confluence against you. But like I said, if those levels can start holding some higher lows, some buyers could be looking good. 1.26 and then 1.27. We'll take a look at US 30 as well. Okay, so US 30 overall bearish on US 30 as well. Like I said from last week, I'm still expecting these lows here at 32,234 to be taken out on some new lows. I'm anticipating, we've got that high up there. This is the daily time frame, by the way. The high up there, we've got that lower high, and I'm expecting that to be the next lower high. So I'm expecting equal lows at least, which we kind of have hit, because this is kind of like our wick area, and we've kind of wicked into that. So we've hit the equal lows, but I am expecting some new lows for US 30 for us to spike through that. So I'm still bearish on US 30 to that 32,200 area. We've got some nice lower highs here. So we've got that high, got that low, lower high, lower low. Either looking at the market potentially rolling over from this resistance, because we've got that broken support term resistance that price is stalling at. So we could either roll over from here, or we might take a deeper retracement into this area, coming to that trend line, some supply around about there, that resistance, form another lower high up here, and then from there roll over. So either one of these two areas is where I would be looking for sells for US 30. A little bit choppy in this area, kind of just consolidating, but if you can maintain that, I would expect price to roll over. That'll be first target 32,500, then 32,200. If we do break to the upside, then 33,800 is the next area where I'm looking to sell. And if we don't get there, say we break to the upside and we don't get there, now I'll wait for price to get back underneath this, and then I'll look to sell it again. So if it doesn't quite hit that area, then we'll look to sell when it gets back under that level. But yeah, those are the two levels I'm interested in for US30. I'm bearish on it. We got nice bearish daily structure, and 4H is showing us the exact same thing. So I do expect this one to roll over this week. Saw some nice downside momentum yesterday, quickly retraced. So we'll see if that level can hold. If it doesn't, second area, which also gives us a better risk reward as well, obviously if you're going to hold to the lows. But two really great areas to get involved for some sells in my opinion for US30. But you can see you're getting that break and retest there, so we definitely could roll over from that first area. Would be nice if you can get up there, but beggars can't be choosers. DXY, of course, we'll take a look at DXY. I haven't actually looked at the DXY this week. Looked at it last week, but haven't looked at it this week. Again, still, but have we seen the new highs? Yes, we have. Crazy. So we saw some new highs there, just about with that wick. So yeah, DXY is still extremely bullish, but you can see where we're trading. We're trading at some monthly. Oh, that's my prior analysis. We're trading at some monthly, resistance and monthly highs here. So a very, very critical area where you do expect to see some relief in price, but I'll take that with a pinch of salt because we are still extremely bullish, and I would be surprised if we to really rip through this and then see the downside move, because if it only just spiked above, we could really rip through before we do take that rollover. But again, I'm going to analyze it from a structure point of view, and so far we're still getting bullish price action here as well. So if you're looking for sells, so if you're looking for DXY to come down and pairs like Euro USD and Pound USD to go up, then I'll wait for DXY to start confirming some resistance. We are starting to stall at this area, so that is the first sign that we might see DXY come down. But the real area is this support, because if you look at price here, and that push, pullback, push, pullback, push. So this support is what's keeping the market bullish. We could roll over, which could present some nice buys on pound and euro, but if we respect this, it will be short-lived, and we could see something like this happen again, and obviously that momentum just continues. So if you break through this, that's when we might see an actual reversal occur, and actually start to see pound and euro push a lot higher, maybe to 1.27 for pound. But yeah, for me, I'm still bullish for DXY overall, as long as we hold this support, break through, then I'm expecting that reversal, and some of the other dollar pairs to see some upside if that's the case. But like I said, I'm still bullish on DXY currently, as long as we hold that support, and if we break through that resistance, then like I said, we might give us that bigger push as well. But yeah, DXY still give me bullish price action, so I'm only going to be looking for more dollar strength as long as 102, is that 102? 103 can hold. As long as 103 can hold, but there might be some intraday downside momentum for the DXY back into 103. But other than that, I'm only seeing buys as long as that support does hold. Hope that analysis did help. But yeah, DXY, we are at a very, very critical region, but we just need a little bit more signs that the price is holding. If we do reject this and get below that support, that will open up the doors to a lot of things. But we are still quite bullish overall on the DXY. I mean, look at the price action. Going short against that will be very, very difficult. But yeah, currently in one position, pound AUD longs. I did post that on the Telegram last couple of hours ago. Was it a couple? No, 1 hour ago. I took it an hour ago. So yeah, I posted it an hour ago, but I did post the setup, the breakdown of the chart on Sunday for pound AUD long. So I'm looking for pound AUD to come back into this kind of area here, which is 1.0500. So you can see we had this resistance here, formed that resistance, came back, took out that resistance for a bit of a false break, then dropped. We never got the retest of that level. So I'm looking at pound AUD coming to retest that, maybe form another lower high or a double top respect to that, and then maybe roll over. But you can see pound AUD structure very, very choppy, but it is bullish with the higher lows in those daily time frame or the daily candles. And on the 4H, we've just come back to retest a really nice level in the market, which was this resistance here, which was the neckline of the head and shoulders. So you can see that the left there, the head, the right, giving us that neckline there. And then price broke through that, a little bit messy on the retest, but now we're getting a clean retest of that level. And I'm looking at a higher low, since you've got higher low, fake out to the downside, past this wick here, and then I'm looking at that to be the next higher low. And my entry was on that candle there, last hour, and stop loss just below that wick. Targets at 1.0500 up there. So that is the trade that I've got going currently at the moment. I'm going to see how this one can get going. Do have some areas for partials, of course. So one being that level there. Going to be a little bit cautious with this one because I know the higher time frame direction is to the downside. So the trade that I'm taking is definitely counter trend. So, you know, I do want to bank some partials earlier because just in case that trend does continue, you know, I can still look to get involved with the sales back down to these lows if that's the case. But that'll be TP1, TP2 back at these highs up here, and then TP3, final TP 1.80500. Bitcoin, short thing, we'll take a look at Bitcoin. Fed interest rate decision this week, so might just see a spike and drop. Yeah, I mean, with that type of activity, we could definitely see some type of manipulation, either down or upside. But again, interest rates will provide a lot of volume into the market. So if you do see that reversal, it could be, you know, that could be the time it does happen. Because again, DXY is extremely bullish, and it does probably need some type of news announcement to change things up. Or even just give us a big like climax of the trend. So sometimes, you know, we do see stuff like this happen, and then a big push up, and then we get the reversal. So maybe the interest rates might give us that, which I think is what you're talking about. But yeah, we'll take a look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin's not looking too good, I have to be honest. I've been watching Bitcoin over the weekend quite closely. Where is Bitcoin? There it is. Over the weekend quite closely. I mean, not too much activity, but the highs and the lows, you know, are building up a story for Bitcoin, and it's not looking too good for this guy. We do have this strong support here at 35, and below that we've got 30. So I do think we're going to have a push back, or 29.75 actually. So I do think we're going to have a push back into 35, and if 35 breaks, then we're coming back to 30k probably. Obviously, I don't have a crystal ball, but I'm just going off of what my analysis tells me. And yeah, I was looking at this support. This is the support I've got my eye on, and as you can see, we're still holding that as resistance. We didn't quite come test it yesterday, which is where I was looking to actually get short on Bitcoin. We kind of missed it through some wicks to the upside, so I'm looking for today maybe, because overall it's a little bit choppy. I'm looking overall maybe one more push to the upside into 39,300 with the trend line there, and then I'm looking at price rolling over. So I'm bearish on Bitcoin as long as we stay below this level here, and my target is 35. Break above this, then I'll start potentially becoming a little bit more bullish for Bitcoin, but even that I'll be a little bit hesitant to get long on Bitcoin, because daily, weekly, everything is still pointing bearish, and this easily could be the next lower high, you know, in reference to that high up there. And after the next lower high, what do you expect? You expect some new lows for it. So yeah, Bitcoin, I'm looking at price coming back down into 35, and then maybe 30k after that if we can break. But for any setups to get short, I'm personally looking at another retest of this level here as resistance, 39,300, and from there I'll base my shorts from. But yeah, if you're looking for longs for Bitcoin, I would wait for price to rally through this, give us some higher highs and higher lows, and then we can buy into that, but only if that happens. If not, I'm seeing Bitcoin drop to 35. Hey Rex, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. On my Discord, no, I'm not on Discord. I do have a Telegram, but I am not on Discord currently. But yeah, guys, whatever pairs you're looking at or trades you're in, feel free to share. The top setups I'm looking at is pound AD longs, which I'm currently in, AD CAD shorts, which I still see this one dropping to these lows here. So for me, all these bullish candles you might see on the daily are just going to be retracement, chucking some buys to get involved, and I still do see this one rolling right back to the low. So there's a lot of downside left for me for AD CAD, so I'm going to be focusing on this one probably for the next week or two, depending how long it takes to get there. I'm just going to be focused on finding some shorts for this one. I do have this area here in mind, looking for price to come back and retest that as resistance, maybe form a little double top there, then roll over. That is the area I have my eye on right now for AD CAD. I am currently in a Aussie pair, so I'm not trying to get too involved in it and have overexpose myself, because I do believe there is some Aussie news coming out later today or either tomorrow morning. I need to go and double check on that, but I do believe there is some Aussie news, so I don't want to get two or three trades going and then they all provide some big wicks or anything like that. So I do expect AD CAD to roll over. Is a pair that I will be focusing on, and depending on the news and everything and my pound AD trade, I may look to get involved. But if I do get anything, I will obviously put it in the Telegram. Usdchf, I'm still looking at this guy coming back up to 1.29646, which is the high up there. But I am looking at 1.3 or 1.30500. I'm expecting some new highs as well for Usdchf, but I'm looking at some retracement first for this one because we pushed off there. So I'm looking at price coming back down from that next higher low and then moving to the upside again. We do have this really nice area of resistance I'm looking at to see if price can come back and retest that level there. And then there is a level here, but I'm looking for price to come a little bit lower first and then push bullish. But Usdchf I will be looking at a lot. Usdchf, of course, we'll take a look at Usdchf. That one is extremely bullish. Last time I checked, obviously dollar is very, very strong. Okay, so yeah, Usdchf still climbing. So yeah, a pair like this where it's absolutely flying, to the upside, it's a good thing and a bad thing. Because basically in Forex everything goes up must come down. Forex is a great market to trade because they're very up and down. Not all of them, but they're very up and down. Whereas other markets normally trend, so they're good to invest in. But Forex is really good up and down. So whenever you see a big push like this, 8 times out of 10, 9 times out of 10, it's gonna come straight back down. Maybe not to where it came from, but maybe 50%. It's just up to us to locate that area of where it could come down from. But yeah, we are coming up to some key areas around here, some supply resistance. Again, Usdchf is a very, very messy pair, so I'm not looking at any particular level that is drawing my attention. It's more the fact that we're coming back into this high up here, which was the last time we kind of dropped from, and now we're coming back into 0.98, which is that same area. So yeah, for Usdchf, I'll keep an eye on it, but like I said, there's nothing there right now. It's still bullish. Higher highs and higher lows are still being printed. You need to wait for price to break that structure, give us some lower highs, but it's definitely something you could watch out for because later this week we might see some good price action come around. Definitely if dollar can see some weakness, but yeah, I would be looking for shorts for Usdchf. But there's nothing there that would get me involved. I'll probably wait for price to give me a strong move down, confirm some lower highs, and then I'll look to get involved in something like that, because then I've actually got some bearish structure to work with. But other than that, if we just see a drop, we could easily start flying again and break through the level. We don't have to hold. We could still climb 100, 200 more pips if Usdchf wanted to. But yeah, we are coming to a nice area. It's definitely overextended. It is due some retracement. It's just the market is not ready yet, in my opinion. So definitely want to keep an eye out for. But nothing there yet that I would look to get involved with. And targets for this one is a little bit tricky because there's no real obvious target to have, because the structure isn't really there, and I wouldn't look to the left too much. I'll probably just play with these 4H lows here, so that would be a one to have there. Probably focus on this consolidation that we broke out of there as well. So yeah, the target's not too obvious, but I'll just play with the levels on the left really, because there isn't really, we've just been rallying very, very aggressively. But yeah, that's my outlook on Usdchf. Nothing really there to get me involved, but I do like what it is doing. And we do need to see some dollar weakness. Gold, we've seen some downside for this one. This one dropped. Again, it's a shame because I was actually looking for the test of 1920. Well, not 1920, like 1917. And I said to you guys in my weekly analysis and also during the stream as well, this daily support here, very, very strong support. And I was looking for the retest of that level to go short on gold, but it happened late on Friday. And I wasn't actually looking at the charts anymore. I was trading Euro NZD at the time, which I'll go over in a second. I was trading Euro NZD at the time, so I was kind of wrapping up for the week. For Friday, I wasn't looking to place any more trades, but just before the market kind of closed on Friday there, well, not just before, kind of like midday, 1-2 o'clock, we saw a really nice rejection of that level, and I would have looked to got short on that, and that would have been a really, really nice trade, but yeah, I just wasn't really focused at the time. I was already wrapping up for the end of the week there. I was already trading Euro NZD, but we did see that rejection there and a big dump for gold, and I do think we've come a little bit further actually. I'm looking at gold coming back into this area here, 1830. Like I said in my weekly analysis, if you haven't checked that out, feel free to go do so. It's on my channel right now. But yeah, I said if you can stay below, I'm looking at 1830. First was 1870, but we smashed through that, so I'm looking at 1830 for gold. So I do think there's more downside on the cards for this one. Maybe looking at that next lower high and then the drop. You can see the structure. We've got that low, lower high, low. It is technically a lower high, even though it did take out the high there, but it's just a bit of a false break, grabbing liquidity above the high. Then looking at the next lower high in respect to that somewhere, I have no idea what it would be, and then another push back down again. Hey Ross, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. I'm doing well, hope you are doing good as well. What do you think about gold? I think gold is heading to 1800. Interesting. I mean, we could do, like I've been saying on the stream quite a lot recently, the correlation between gold and silver is very, very interesting, because normally what silver does first, gold does later. And I think it was last week Wednesday, silver was dropping like hell, and I said to you guys, gold is probably going to do the exact same thing. And it just copies silver, but just a little bit later. And the fact that silver's come all the way back down to these lows, I would not be surprised if gold was to come even lower as well and just copy that momentum, which it normally does. I'm personally looking at 1830 because I know that is a very, very strong level for gold. Previously it's been a very strong resistance, and we broke through. We never actually got the retest of that level, so it is definitely due price coming back for the retest at 1830. So that's what I'm going to be looking at price coming. But 1800 is a big psychological level, and I wouldn't be surprised if it was to poke through that level into 1800, maybe down to some of these areas there as well. But yeah, I'm definitely bearish on gold, and I can see it dropping further. 1830 is where I'm looking, but we could drop further. You're in a sell for Euro JPY from 137. What would you do if you were in waiting for a breakout to the downside, or secure profits? Okay, we'll take a look at Euro JPY. Okay, so Euro JPY, first off, I'm still bullish on the pairs, so I wouldn't be in shorts. But if I was in shorts for this one, that is some tricky price action. It is just consolidating a little bit there. So yeah, you are looking for that breakout of this support, of course. Would you say from 137, so around here-ish. I do like the structure on the hourly. We've got some equal highs there, price drop, now it's forming some lower highs. So that is a good sign, but obviously that support is the thing that really does need to break. It depends what kind of plan you had for the trade. I mean, where's your target? Is your target back down to these lows here? 134, 800, 135 down there, or is your target the top of this resistance? Because if my target was down there, then I'll let the trade play out, because the risk to reward on that would look very, very healthy, and I'd rather take the loss than miss out on the possible percentage gain if that is to hit that level. If my target was only here, I'll probably bank some profit now, because there's no point taking a full loss just to capture that extra pips there that you're looking for. So I'll probably take some partials because it is moving sideways and the momentum you were looking in the charts is not there anymore. But the lower highs are still there, so there is still some hope that we can break through. So yeah, if your target's like 136, I'll probably secure some profit and then just let whatever happens happen. But if it's down here, you could look secure some profit as well. But I'll definitely try and let the trade play out. Either the loss, but if it's a win, that's a very, very healthy win, depending on the risk to reward. 136, yeah, 136. I'll probably secure some profit on that. Yeah, I'll probably secure some profit on that, just because it is moving that messy and it's not too far away your target. So yeah, I'll probably secure some profit, but again, try and let the trade play out, because obviously when you took the trade, you have a plan of what you looked for the outcome to be, even though this may not be what you planned for it to happen, it moving sideways. In that case, take some partials, but got to try and let the trade play out. It's not about winning each trade and making money, it's about the consistency of taking the same good trades all the time. But yeah, I'm actually bullish on Euro JPY, so I wouldn't be looking for sales. It's not really JPY pair I'm focusing on pound and CAD JPY. But yeah, I'm still bullish. I'm not really looking for sales, but yeah, if you're in shorts, I'll probably secure some profit, but try and let the trades play out, because at the end of the day, you have no idea what's going to happen next in the market. It could drop to your take profit, it could hit your stop loss. You have no idea. It's all about probability at the end of the day. So yeah, secure some partials because that's in your control, but let the market do its thing. But yeah, it is very, very messy. I'm not gonna lie, it is very, very messy, and that would play with your emotions quite a bit. So it's best just to let the trade breathe and kind of leave it alone, just let it be, because watching every tick as it goes up and down can drive you a bit crazy. But yeah, best to just leave it alone. But yeah, pound JPY and CAD JPY are the JPY pairs I'm looking to get long on. Now, the market is moving a little bit choppy, probably for most of the JPY pairs. CAD, you can see price action this week, well, so far I've only had Monday, is a little bit sideways, and same thing for pound JPY, and there was no different for Euro JPY as well. So the JPY pairs are lacking a little bit of momentum, and they're waiting for something to happen. I'm looking to get long on them. I'm looking at the overall structure. I see the high, low. I've got the high up there. I'm anticipating this to be the high low. It's not confirmed yet, reason being because it hasn't formed some new highs, but I'm looking at that being the next high low. So I'm just waiting for the market to give me some good structure to work with and get involved, or pull back to 100 and retest 100, and then I'll look to get involved, which I'm not too sure if you'll do. If we do roll over to 100, I'll look to buy from it, but there could be a situation where we just start doing this, and then I'll look to try and get involved in a higher low somewhere. But yeah, that is the plan for CAD, and GJ's the same thing as well. I'm looking at price rejecting this level here. So I'm looking at the market rolling over a little bit more for one more test of 162, 250 we'll call it, and then from here I'm looking at some longs to the upside. But even if it does break to the upside, I'll just look to scale in somewhere. But my targets, is all the way up here, so it is pretty far away. Still about 400 pips. Again, pound JPY is quite pip heavy. No problem, Ross. Happy to help. Gold. So yeah, gold, as I said, I'm bearish on. I'm looking at gold coming into 1830. Everything is still bearish, but if you're looking to trade it, I'll wait for one more pullback because we've had quite a drop. We dropped on Friday, and then Monday we saw that continuation happen, so I'll wait for a pullback. We might not pull back that far. There is some area here that we might pull back into this resistance here at 1872. Excuse me, my throat's a little bit dry. Into 1872 and then roll over, but you are waiting for that pullback. So we had that high there, had that false break, taking out that high there. Now looking at the next lower high, and then targets at 1830, which is a very, very key level of daily resistance, which will now be turned support. So yeah, I'm looking at price still dropping for gold, 1830 the target. Just waiting on that next lower high for those opportunities. And again, we might push past, might come a little bit higher. But I do get the fib out. We've got 50, we've got 0.618 up there. We could come and test. There's a level of support going through here, which coincides with 0.618 there. So we could drop from that level. But overall, for me, gold, I'm still seeing this one come down further. And 1830 is the target I have. It just depends where we form that lower high for risk to reward reasons. But in terms of structure, momentum, everything's pointing to the downside. So for my plan, my perspective, there's no real room for longs here. There could be some nice intraday longs, of course, but the bigger swing, the momentum is still bearish on gold. Good morning, Barca Bliss, welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing well. Any pairs you're looking at, feel free to share. Feel free to share. Oil's not looking too good either. I'm looking at oil coming back down to 95, 96. Actually, I'm looking at oil coming down to 92. But I'll keep it as 95 because this is a strong level, and I wouldn't really try to trade it into 92. But yeah, oil's still doing what I expected it to do because it's still obeying that lower high structure. You can see we've got the high all the way up there. We've got that lower high, lower high, lower high. And it's still playing with that structure. And as long as we keep forming those lower highs, for me, the bears are still in control. I know we've seen some strong rejections from 95, as you can see. But structure rules everything. If price is making higher highs, higher lows, we're going to be looking for buys. Vice versa, lower highs, lower lows, looking for sells, and just stay consistent with that as much as possible. And you can see the market tried to form some new highs, failed to do so. It's back below this resistance here. Well, it hasn't closed below the resistance because it is still currently trading right now. It has about 16 minutes to close, but as long as we can get back below that, I'm favoring oil to drop to the downside. If it takes out this level, then yeah, I'll start reanalyzing oil and start looking for a new bias, probably to the upside into that next swing point up there, if that is the case. But as long as we can get below, start holding resistance, I do feel oil is getting ready to drop, which might mean some weakness for CAD, which is interesting as well, because I'm looking to get the long on CAD JPY. But it might help me out because I do want to see a test of this level down here. Maybe some oil weakness can help me out. But yeah, I'm looking at buying CAD JPY. So, hey, good morning, Wilson. Welcome. Good morning, Wilson Laura. Welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing well. Yeah, any pairs you guys looking at, feel free to share. How to know the pullback is over, because even after engulfing candle or long wick candle, price move hits stop loss and moves where we wanted. Yeah, the trick is you never actually know when the pullback is over. So you can have obviously technical strategies put in place to analyze the chart and to expect where the pullback could be over at. But all in all, you don't know where the market's going to go. You can just analyze, apply strategies to the market. And the trick is just being right more times you are being wrong. And when you're right, you're making more money than when you're wrong. And that's simply what the consistency of trading is. You don't know where you don't know where the market's going to finish having that pullback, the retracement. You don't know when the market's going to reverse. You don't know how far the trend's going to go. You just have to keep reacting to what price is giving you. So, you know, if you are looking at getting to retracement and say you're wrong and hits your stop loss, you know, don't take that stop loss to heart. Look to get back involved again if you get another signal, because sometimes you do see the second time work, and if your risk reward's healthy, it will cover back your losses. I mean, for example, I'm currently in a pound AUD position here. I'm looking at this being the pullback for price to push bullish, and I have no idea where the pullback can end. It could go a little bit deeper into the support. You know, it could be wrong and the market could actually go bearish, but you have no idea it's going to happen. All I know is that the confidences are meeting. I've got some nice levels to work with. Price action is good, and everything is lining up for the pullback to be over. So I'm going to enter my trade and see what happens, really. But you just have to have systems in place and trade and trade with it. The best advice I have to you is just use confidence when you're trading. So, for example, if you're using say like support and resistance to tell you if the pullback is over or not, you know, add more to that, like trend lines, moving averages, you know, patterns. Add more to that so the confidence is greater, so you have a greater probability of you being right when the pullback is over. But yeah, you won't know. You know, you won't know. Euro USD upside, double bottom Euro USD. Yeah, I'm looking at Euro USD seeing some upside, but again, do be careful because the market is still extremely bearish. But we are trading at a very, very important level. So, you know, if we can hold this, I'm looking at Euro USD seeing some upside. This is the monthly time frame for Euro USD, by the way, and you can see where we are on the monthly time frame. Very, very strong support. Last time we tested this level was back in 2017 January. So yeah, Euro USD is due some retracements, coming to some strong areas, but I wouldn't buy Euro USD straight away. For me, everything is still looking bearish. You can see we're holding this level of resistance here. That price went high, you know, following that low, we came back into it, respected it again, and now we're dropping to the downside. You could form a double bottom, but I'd wait for price to start giving some higher lows to work with and then buy it. Or better yet, I'll wait for price to break above this resistance here, come back and retest it, and then get some long to the upside, because this is a monthly zone, which means if it does hold, we should see some, you know, fairly big retracement for Euro. And I'm looking at maybe Euro coming up here, so we don't have to catch the market right at the bottom. You know, you can wait for the price to give you the first high low, or even the second or the third high low, and get involved with much safer, much higher probable trades, trades that you can be consistent with rather than trying to guess the double bottom back here. So yes, we could be forming a double bottom, you could be, but for me it's not really an opportunity that I'll look to trade. I'll wait for price to give me some high lows first, or break above this resistance here, 1.05700, because I know this is what's keeping the market bearish on the hourly, and if you can break through that, that will give us some nice longs to get involved with. But yeah, it's completely up to you if you want to look to trade this, because you could be right at double bottom, but you know, keep in mind that we are still making lower lows and lower highs, and resistance is still holding, and we definitely could go and spike through the lows of this wick here, take them out before we do see a push higher. So, you know, if that does happen, you want to look to get back involved, get another trade back in. But if I'm looking to trade this one, you know, those are the conditions I would be waiting for. But you are correct, Euro USD is at a very, very strong area, which we could start to see some profit taking from the big players, and maybe start to see some bulls coming back into the market. But nothing is concrete just yet. But I'm liking where it is as well. Same thing for DXY. DXY is at a very, very strong place. You can see if we go to the, not daily, if we go to the monthly, you know, where we're trading right at the top of that wick, you know, we could see some reversals coming from these areas as well. But, you know, always wait for price to give you that structure first before you jump in, because if you think about it, it doesn't take a lot of skill to look to sell this or buy Euro USD. You know, anyone you know, trading Forex, you don't have to have any great experience, can tell you that that's a strong support level, so they're going to be looking to buy it. So be careful. Now, I would be favoring the buys, but just be careful before you get involved. But yeah, I would expect Euro to see some upside soon come, but we do see some weakness come around for dollar. And I'm looking at USD coming a little bit down as well, so I do want to see some weakness for dollar for this trading setup I've got going on here. Looking at USD buys from 1.27865. I will be entertaining buys a little bit higher as well if the setup appears, but this is the main setup I'm focused on. Nice confidence in this area and target back at that high there, which is that high there, and I might try and extend it to 1.3 because I know that's a very, very strong psychological level. I'm expecting some higher highs as well for this one. Got some nice higher lows brewing. I'm expecting some higher highs to be coming around for USD CAD. So I will be looking at some longs for this one. And that is the setup that I've got going there. Hopefully it can come around maybe tomorrow or the day after. Probably see some downsides, consolidation, retest, and then I'll look for some entries to get involved. But yeah, I'm actually hoping for some dollar weakness to get involved, to buy it back up. But yeah, I'm only currently in pound AUD right now, looking for some longs for this one. But I'm also looking at some Usdchf shorts as well. I'm looking at AUD CAD shorts and pound JPY longs. But I'm only currently in pound AUD. So 3-4 area where I saw pullback, but because it's 4 in number, not 1, I'm in downtrend. All 4 behind each other is this pullback over after the reaction at support resistance. You're talking about confluences, so like 4 and 3 technical confluences. I mean, you can make the confluences of anything. So, you know, support resistance, EMA, trend line, fib, you know, those are all very, very good technical tools that if you use them in sync with each other, can provide some high quality setups. But again, it's not going to work every single time. You're going to have some failed trades in there. So, you know, if you take a trade using those 4 confluences and it doesn't work, you know, as long as you use them correctly, there's nothing more you could have done really. Again, it does take a lot of experience and time to understand the market and flow with it. And those technical tools would definitely help you, but it's not going to work every time. You know, that's just something you need to back test to actually find the win rate of that strategy using those 4 things together. And then say that the percentage win rate is like 65, then you know coming into the live markets I could lose, you know, you win probably 65%, 35%, but it might not be 65 bang on, it might be 60, it might be 70, but you need to find the win rate overall of it together. But yeah, I can't tell you if a pullback is over just because those 4 things are lining up. It could be, high probability chance it would be, but nothing is for sure. You know, we take trades of probability, not because we know it's going to go up or down. So you do need to lose that kind of mentality of knowing where the market will go. You just have to take a trade based on your strategy. Morning Sharif, how are you doing? Welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing well. Any pairs you guys are looking at or trading, feel free to let me know. I'm currently in pound AUD longs here, going on to this one on the last candle there, looking for a move to the upside. Nice swing trade. Again, pretty big stop loss. We've got about 101 pips, so a pretty big stop loss. But again, for me, I'm not really fussed about the size of stop loss. I always use a pip calculator to calculate you know, how much the lot size I'm using, because either if I have a 30 pip stop loss or 100 pip stop loss, you know, I'm always going to be losing the same percentage per trade. So stop loss doesn't really matter, neither does the target really. So I always use a pip calculator to change the lot size, so I can always lose that same percentage. But yeah, it's a pretty big stop loss, even on the hourly time frame. 100 pips is a lot, but again, pound AUD always has a lot of pips about it. my stop losses are always bigger when I do trade this pair. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, looking at pound NZD as well. Pound NZD, I was looking at some buys for this one, but I didn't quite come into my level here. This level of resistance. Again, I did analyze this one on my weekly analysis, so feel free to go and check that out. But I said I was looking for a retest of this level here, and you can see we came pretty close, looking for 1.93, came pretty close. You could still come back and retest it, of course, but I am looking at pound NZD heading higher into this area up here, 1.6, 1.96, 1.965. So I am looking at price climbing into those areas there. I do expect still weakness for NZD, but yeah, I did have a Euro NZD position last week, which I did take a loss on. Where is Euro NZD? So yeah, I did have Euro NZD, which I did take a loss on this one. I gave this one out on, was it Thursday? I think it was Thursday, but yeah, I had the trade looking like this. That was my entry there, coming into this area here. Then I was looking at the market rolling over a lot further, had some levels down here I was targeting. But you can see went into some nice profit, almost came into my target. Like, this is my area that I was going to take partials at, 1.61. It came pretty close, and then it just came back and went against me. But overall, it was still a good trade, but the structures didn't shift bearish. We didn't take out those lows there. If we could take out those lows, it would show us the bears again gain control again, but we just failed to take those lows out, and price came against me. It's still holding on to this resistance, so I wouldn't be surprised if it was to come back down eventually. And if it does, I'll look for retracement and get back involved, because I still do see price come back to those lows. But yeah, that was the trade I took on Thursday, and Usdchf annoyingly missed that one as well. Same with gold. Again, that was the trade that I had last week. Stops above there, targets down at 0.623 something. And then again, I exited at break even when price came against me. But then there's a second entry that I did miss here, which probably wouldn't have stopped me out of break even. Came pretty close, but I didn't. Against that exact same target. So I had that second entry which I missed. So I was telling you guys, even though I did get stopped out of break even, I still do expect price to come back down into this level here of 0.62300. So I'm still expecting price to come down, yeah, I just missed that second entry coming back into that resistance there, which would have been nice. But yeah, Usdchf, I'm still looking at that one coming down, hence why I'm looking at trading Usdchf, to do the exact same thing. Very similar pairs, Usdchf, Usdchf. I'm looking at Usdchf coming back down into this support here. So I'm looking at that next lower high to form. Got some really nice structure here. Got that high low, high up there, high low, high low, lower high, lower low. So you can see the market is slightly changing now. So I'm looking at the market printing that next lower high, which could be now with those wicks. We are coming back into some nice areas, along here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're actually placing in that entry now. But like I said, I'm not looking to get involved just yet, because I do have already an AUD pair running, pound AUD. So I don't want to overexpose myself to Aussie dollar when we do, I think, have some news events for Aussie this week. If not later today, tomorrow. I need to double check that. But yeah, Usdchf, I am seeing price come down. If I do get entry, I might just stick it in the Telegram, but I probably won't trade it just because I'm already in pound AUD. I'm expecting weakness for Aussie. I'm doing the exact same thing, so I don't really need to get into this one as well. And AD CAD, I'm looking at that one coming down as well, but I want to see this one push a little bit higher first, and then from around about there, I'm looking at this one coming right back down. So what do you do in case when price action tells you up / down movement, but EMA is in the halfway? Is you wait for break of the EMA or take a trade at actual entry at before they hit? yeah, a little bit difficult to understand what you got going on there. But in a case where I'm using the EMA, EMA doesn't have to always be like I don't have to always take the trade at the EMA, because sometimes, say for example, you got the EMA, you got the bearish trend here. Say the EMA is running through price like so. Let me change that to blue. Actually, let me just get an EMA out. Far simpler. So the EMA I normally use is 14. So let me change that to 14. So for example, if I'm going to get short on this, I know that the market is staying below the EMA, so I don't need to wait for the market to get below. You can wait, of course, but I would normally take the trade based on price action. That's normally how I enter the market, based on the candlestick patterns and candlesticks. That's how I look to enter the trade. So I would enter the trade here, anticipating price is going to get below the moving average, or you could obviously wait for it to break the moving average and then enter. But yeah, for me, moving averages are just levels of support resistance, dynamic support resistance. I'm not really looking at too much at moving averages for direction. Moving averages just give me an extra level of support and resistance. So if you want to, you can wait for them to break and close below and take the trade then. But for me, I always use candlesticks and I anticipate price coming down, because the reason being, because I'm always looking to work off levels. So that's a really nice resistance there. I'll base my trade off that level there, expecting price to break through that. Obviously, the moving average will give you more confluence, which means your stop loss will be bigger. 50, okay, for the analysis, I'll change it to 50. No problemo. Okay, so yeah, 50, I mean, it's the exact same principle. It's the exact same principle on pound AUD. Okay, so you wait for price. Oh, okay, so you wait for price to get above the EMA and then look to buy it. Yeah, I mean, again, it's just up to the way you want to trade the market, because you can see for this example here, price broke through the EMA and then it gave you a signal, and only here it had that successful retest if you look to enter there. But the signal was above the EMA, but because the market has been trending below the EMA, we're still on that bearish trend. Even if the market does break the EMA a little bit, you would expect price to come straight back involved. This is where people who are using the 50 EMA are buying it, because it broke the EMA, and that's where they would get stopped out, and that's where you look to take your entries. But yeah, EMA for me is never about direction. It's all about providing that support resistance. So it's just an extra confluence to work with. For me, I'm ready into the trade anyway. Obviously we do have to break through that EMA for this trade to play out, but I'm expecting that to eventually happen anyway. Of course, if it doesn't, then I'll be wrong. But if you want price to break it and retest, then yeah, that could be, you can wait for that entry. Hourly. Yeah, so example, yeah, you'd wait for price to break above the EMA and then take it, or you can anticipate price getting above and then get involved. It's completely how you want to trade it. There's no right or wrong way. There's definitely higher probable opportunities, which would be waiting for price to break through the EMA and then taking the trade. Obviously, taking this trade would be a little bit more aggressive, but it's how you want to play it. And all these things you have to work out with back testing. That's the whole point of back testing, is working out what you want to do in the live market, so there is no doubt in your mind when you are trading. Because when you have doubt, that leaves room for mistakes, and you start doubting your trading, you start doubting your knowledge about the markets, and that's where everything normally goes out the window. So yeah, if I was you, I would get back to back testing really, because if you don't know what you're looking for, then how do you expect to be trading and making money if you don't know what you're looking for? So choose one, work on it, back test it. If you like what you're getting from it, then stick with it. If not, then wait for the other. But again, it's not always going to be perfect in the market. Sometimes it's going to break slightly below, sometimes it's not going to quite hit the moving average, so you do have to work on your toes a bit. But if you do have some grey areas, you need to go and back test that. But like I said, it's either you take the trade, anticipate price getting back above, or you simply just wait for price to break above and then get involved. And you just got to pick one and stick with that, because they're both right answers. One might be a loss, one might be a win, but it's what they do over 10, 20, 30 trades that actually makes a difference to your trading. But yeah, I don't mind the 50 EMA. It's not bad, but I tend to use the 14 with the daily candlesticks, because it gives me really nice continuation. So you can see how it kind of hugs price action. So it kind of tells me where the momentum is on the daily candlestick. Sometimes it does get messy. In this case, I wouldn't use the moving average because it kind of just up and down. So I'll just look at the highs and the lows. But in terms of direction, it does provide some nice resistance and dynamic resistance to work with. But 50 EMA is a good EMA as well. But yeah, I hope that answered your question. Euro pound's been exceptionally messy as well. Again, I've been analysing this one on my weekly analysis, but it's just so messy. I'm not really looking to trade it. Price is holding the level that I was looking for it to hold. But yeah, I'm not really looking for entries for this one. I'll kind of just leave it be because it's just very, very messy, and there are cleaner pairs out there. Nothing really for me to do on this one. Again, I did say I'm looking for those lower highs, and they are presenting themselves, so there probably is some nice opportunities to go short, but there's just better pairs out there to trade, and I'm not really trying to force any trades on euro pound. But yeah, I'm going to be waiting patiently for these setups to come around. Again, Usdchf could actually be forming a setup now, but I'm just not really looking to take it. Been some really nice wicks to the upside. This is definitely a level that I'll look to get involved with, but because I'm already trading pound AUD, it doesn't make sense for me to now take Usdchf. And the reality is they'll probably either both work or both fail, because the real currency I'm trying to take advantage of here is the weakness of the Aussie dollar. So if the Aussie dollar does gain some strength because of something, Usdchf will break above this, and pound AUD will drop as well. So there's no reason for me to take two losses, and I can just take one. And the risk to reward is already healthy. This one's like 3 point something, or actually it's a 4.13. So if it does play out, the risk to reward is there. Usdchf risk to reward does look healthy as well, to be honest. It'll probably be a 4 something as well, or 3.7. So pretty close. That would be my take profit if I was looking to trade this. But yeah, that is what I'll be looking for Usdchf. Again, I did post this on my Telegram on Sunday. But yeah, I'm really in an AUD pair, so I'm not really trying to look to get involved. Expecting AUD/USD to roll over as well. But again, another AUD pair, I'm not trying to get involved too much. But I'm still looking at AUD/USD coming back down to 0.7. So that is where my targets are for Aussie dollar. Again, you can see we're almost there. We are coming to some support, but I think price is kind of running out of steam. It's had that big drop. Now it's kind of running out of steam, so we might see a correction and then the continuation. But all in all, I'm still seeing AUD/USD come lower. So even if we do have a push to the upside, just get ready to short it back down. Hey, welcome to the stream. Usdchf and gold, of course, we'll take a look. Usdchf, what's going on for that pair? Okay, so Usdchf. So Usdchf, we're coming into some strong resistance here, where we could look to roll over. For Usdchf. I did say these were the targets after we did break through that level going across there. We almost kind of hit it. We are running out of steam, but again, the market is still quite bullish, so I do think we can probably see one more move to come and test that 16.3 area. We do kind of have this this kind of level to work with here, so I'll be looking for, well, I won't be looking for because I'm not looking to trade the pair, but if I was looking to trade the pair, that's the kind of thing I'll be looking for USDZAR. One more push to the upside into 16.25, and then from there start looking for some shorts, because I do think we can roll back over. If we do just take out the trend line and take out the support level and break through like this, then we can be looking for some shorts, on those lower highs and get involved with that. But only if that happens will I be looking for some shorts. So for me, I'm still looking at one more push into that zone up there. We just about missed it last week, so I'm looking for some retracement and then a push higher. There's some nice confidence building in that area. So one more push to the upside for USDZAR, 16.25 is what I'm looking at this one heading to, and then maybe roll it over from there. But yeah, I'm just anticipating some more retracement. And then gold, I'm looking at that one come down as well. Hey, what is good? King City, welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. But yeah, gold, I'm looking at 1830 as well. I'm looking at price coming back down into 0.27. So this is a very, very strong level. Very strong level for gold. 1830, I'm looking at price coming back down into that level there. We've broken through some key levels, retest that daily support on Friday, and from there I just think we're going to keep moving down. So I'm looking at either pullback into this area and then we drop to the downside, or we come a little bit steeper into 0.5 or 0.618 and then drop. There's a nice level there I'm working with. But yeah, we've got some nice bearish structure. I'm looking at that next low high somewhere and then drop into 1830 for gold. So yeah, I'm still bearish on this one. And maybe if the dollar keeps maintaining that strength, we might see gold roll over a little bit quicker. Pound JPY dropping. We've seen some downside for pound JPY. Let's check it out. Okay, pound JPY is seeing some downside. Yeah, I'm looking at pound JPY coming back down to 162 or 165, 500, but I'm looking at buys for this one. I'm still looking at buys for pound JPY. I'll see what it does, because it is kind of just consolidating for me on the 4H hourly. We are seeing some lower highs develop, but it is just a little bit choppy. So yeah, I'm looking at 162, 200, 162 price coming to that, and then I'm going to look for some longs for this one. Or if we do break this, and I'm looking at price coming down to 160, 600, 160, 500 for that support down there on the 4H. But yeah, I'm still looking at longs for pound JPY, but hopefully we can come test that support and then get some long opportunities on that one. But yeah, pound JPY is interesting because we've obviously had that crazy downside momentum last week, or previous week and last week, and it's kind of in that area where it's making up its mind if it's going to continue down or go back up. But I'm still bullish on pound JPY because it respected that low there. Very strong respect of that low. I'm in a small short. Nice. Yeah, whereabouts is your target? Where's your target? I'm waiting for the longs for this one, but I'm not currently in pound JPY right now. Yeah, whereabouts is your target? I'm also looking at CAD JPY longs as well, but I'm looking at CAD JPY coming down to 100. Really nice psychological level, which last week we were holding for a little bit, then broke to the downside, and then we got back above with a lot of momentum. So I'm looking at price coming back down to retest that area and then see some upside. Or if we start breaking to the upside, I'll look to get involved in the high low somewhere as well. But yeah, CAD JPY and pound JPY, the JPY pairs I'll be looking at buys for both of them. I'm just looking at continuing that higher time frame trend. Not quite ready yet for reversals, and by reversals I mean the bigger reversal. But yeah, CAD and pound, I'll be watching these guys for the longs. But yeah, I'm only currently in one position, pound AUD. I'm in some buys for pound AUD coming to that support 1.75, 750. looking at some longs for this one. Looking that to be a retracement. I'm anticipating the first high low here. I'm looking at price climbing higher. So we'll see how this position gets going. Seeing some downside right now, but again, I'm expecting some messy price action from it because we've seen a lot of downside momentum. Expecting price maybe to consolidate, maybe come back down, test it again, and then push, maybe even for tomorrow as well. We got in nice and early, but we'll see how this one plays out. And we're looking at some other Aussie pairs to come down as well. Usdchf is reacting at that level very nicely, and same thing with AUD/CAD. Not yet, but the same direction. First trade 162.305. We'll take a look. Have you already had a pound AUD pair? I'm currently in a pound AUD trade, if that's what you mean. $162.305. Okay, so that's from this high up here, and then 159.900. Okay, so you're looking at push back down into those lows there. Where's 159.900? All the way down to those lows. Yeah, so that's the second area that I've got going for the longs for pound JPY. If it breaks through this, then I'll look at price holding that and seeing some upside. But yeah, we definitely are placing some low highs, so we'll see if that momentum can roll over. But yeah, overall it's just a little bit sideways here, so we need to get that breakout, get that going. Maybe in New York we could see momentum pick up even more. Yeah, just keep an eye on it, but so far it does look good on the hourly, and the lower time frames do look good for those low highs. So hopefully that can continue. But yeah, I will be looking out for the longs on that one. But yeah, did you mean if I'm in the pound AUD trade? Because yeah, if that's what you meant, then yeah, I currently am. I did post this one on the Telegram today. Well, I want to go into the trade, so yeah, I did post this on the Telegram. But yeah, I'm looking at pound AUD push back into 1.0500. And yeah, I'm just expecting Aussie weakness this week, so I'm looking at Usdchf and AUD/CAD as well. But because I'm already in pound AUD, I'm not probably going to enter trades on those other pairs. But yeah, I'm just overall looking at AUD weakness and NZD weakness as well. But NZD has been quite weak, so Usdchf, those are the shorts I was looking at last week. NZD/CAD, that's really smashed the target that I gave out for that low, and it's actually headed a little bit lower as well. This was the low that I was looking at for NZD/CAD. It's actually gone past that. NZD/USD, that one's just been falling out of the sky really. It's past that point there as well, similar to NZD/CAD, and that's just been falling. So it could be time for some retracement maybe. And then NZD/JPY, that one's a little bit interesting as well. I think, is that one taking out the lows? Last time I looked at NZD/JPY, it looked like it's coming back down into the lows. Okay, so it hasn't quite taken out the lows yet. If it does take this out, if it does take that support out, that'll confirm to me that price is actually shifting bearish again for the JPY, and that price is ready to move down. I am a little bit neutral in NZD/JPY. I'm not bearish just yet, and I'm not overly bullish on this one, because this could be the low high, or we could be forming a higher low. I just been waiting for more price action before I look to judge this one. For any buys or sells. And if we do take out that low, then yeah, that will confirm to me that the bears are definitely in control. And you know, we do have a pretty long way down. We've got multiple areas we can look at to come and test. We've got that level there, 82,500. We've got 80 down here. You know, there's multiple areas where we can look to trade this to. There's no need to get in right at the top. But if we can take out those lows for NZD/JPY, I will be looking for the shorts for the next lower high. And I'm expecting some NZD weakness as well this week. So we'll see what happens. And same thing for AUD/JPY, but this one is pushing up as well. So if you can maintain this, then I'll look for some longs. We've got that low there. Higher low, higher low, back up, potentially higher high or equal highs, higher low, and then that will look good for some longs. But that's the idea I've got going for AUDJPY and NZJPY. But again, I'm not really too focused on those pairs. Like I said, I'm also looking at pound NZD, but because I've already in pound AUD, there's no point really, is there? But yeah, as a more intra-week swing trader, again, I don't need to be too focused on the minute moves of the market, which is a blessing because, well, for me anyway, I do find that the smaller time frames a little bit more stressful. But hey, some people are cut out for it, and if they can do it, then 100% go for it. But I've always found it a little bit harder on the lower time frames, not from a technical standpoint. It's just that my decisions have to be very, very quick, and they have to be precise. I don't have any room for hesitation. Whereas swing trading, I get time to contemplate a little bit and really think through my decisions. Whereas on the lower time frame, it's either there's a trade or there isn't a trade, and I have struggled with that in the past. So that's why intra-week swing trading I've always found a bit more success on, and it's just slower pace as well. So again, at the end of the day, it's just preference really. Some people thrive on the lower time frames, and if they do, fantastic, take advantage of those moves. And some people thrive on the higher time frames. But yeah, for pound AUD, again, it's going to take its time if it's going to work, probably into the rest of the week or next week. So just going to see how that gets going. So weekly price movement for pound AUD, please. So you asked me to analyze the pair. Well, yeah, simply the reason why I've got into the trade, like I'll just talk you through the trade. So pound AUD, we're coming to some strong areas in the market. You can see here, if we just highlight this zone on the weekly time frame, this is an area where we do see a lot of wicks collecting here. So a lot of times we come into the zone here, 1.74, 1.73, we spike into these zones and we do see big reliefs in price. Overall, long term, I'm still bearish on pound AUD, and I do think the support will eventually break. But I am expecting some upside from this one into 1.8, 1.08, 1.81 maybe as well. From the zone, we've had quite a nasty wick to the downside down the weekly, so I'm looking at price seeing some upside. So from a high time frame perspective, I'm looking at some upside. Daily, we've got this bullish structure here. We've got that push, pullback, push, pullback, push, pullback, and last week's candle was very, very important because we came back to respect that price structural low there. If we broke through that, then I would have been looking for some sells, but you can see we came back into the support and held that and pushed to the upside, maintaining that bullish structure. So I'm still bullish from a daily point of view, and then full H, I'm just looking for the levels to work with. I had this really nice head and shoulder pattern here. So you got the left shoulder, you got the head, you got the right shoulder, neckline running through that area there, which is this level here. So that's the neckline of that head and shoulder. And then we had this very messy price action above and below that area, but now we've got a really nice test of that after last week where we took out those lows there. So I'm anticipating a bit of a false break there. Now price is coming back to respect them, form that higher low, and then I've got my higher time frame targets all the way up there, and these levels here are areas for partials, just because, like I said, I'm still bearish overall on pound AUD long term. So I'm definitely trading, well, not definitely, more likely I'm trading the retracement, and retracements are always going to be always a little bit choppy, and at any time you could see that real momentum kick back in. So I do want to take my partials as price works its way up, and then from here, if we do get there, I will be looking for some sells to take this one right back down, coming back into that price swing high there. But yeah, that's the plan for the trade. Take advantage of that retracement and then hopefully look to sell it back down again if I can get some entries. But yeah, we are respecting that low there, so as long as we stay above that, stop loss below, of course. Really nice wicks down the 4H, strong close down the 4H as well. Entry was there on the hourly, which was at 9 AM, so nice wicks, fairly good close, and then I'm just looking at price coming up. But yeah, that's the plan behind the pound AUD trade, and those are my TP areas. So if we get there, we'll secure some partials, just to keep sure I'm banking profit, and because we could very much drop at any time. Take that profit and see if you can get that target of 419 pips. So it's quite a big target, but again, the stop loss is pretty big as well, about 100 pips to the downside. So quite a big target and quite a big stop loss. But I always calculate my lot size for each trade, so I'm always going to risk the same amount. It's not like this trade I'm just going to risk 5% or something. It's always the same. But yeah, that's the thesis, that's the theory behind the trade. Now I just got to see if the market complies or goes against me. And if it does break to the downside, then I will take this as the next lower high, and that will be my next target for the trade. So if we don't see that extended retracement into that level there, and we do start breaking through and come back down, then I'll just be looking for that next lower high to get involved with the sells back down into these lows. So I am prepared to change my bias pretty quick if things change, but that's only if we take out that level and take out the lows, and then I'll change my bias. If we stay above, then I will be remaining bullish. And pretty same analysis for pound NZD as well, which I did in my weekly breakdown. We had the downtrend, price is broken, got some nice shift in price action. We got that low, high, higher low, high, higher low, high, false break to the downside. They're taking out that low, but still above this point here, giving us that higher high. Now looking at price, retesting that level to go bullish. It came pretty close, but I'm trading pound AD anyway, so I'm not really looking to trade pound and NZD as well. But same direction and target 1.965 up there. So yeah, that's the plan behind pound AUD and pound NZD. See how those guys get going. Again, it is a swing trade, 420 pips. It's not going to happen overnight, even though pound AUD does pack a punch. This drop here would have been a good 200, 300 pips. Yeah, but basically 300 pips on the dot. So it can move pretty quick. But we'll see what happens. Again, it's only the start of the week. It's Tuesday. There's some other pairs I'm looking to get involved in. Usdchf is looking very, very good. I'm just hoping we can retrace and not just push through. So hopefully we can retrace for that one, and I can stick some longs on for Usdchf. And I'll be watching pound JPY and CAD JPY as well for some longs as well. But hopefully they can move down a little bit first before I do find any entries. And then I'll keep an eye on Bitcoin as well, because I am bearish on Bitcoin to 35k. But I was looking for a test of this level here. It's come pretty close. I don't know if price has technically kind of tested that, because I know that the market's not going to be perfect. Sometimes price, you have a level like this, and sometimes price will come so close to the level and then push up, and then you're like, should I enter? It hasn't hit my price. So if it does fail, I shouldn't have entered. So it's kind of that kind of thing that's happening for Bitcoin here. Technically, I'm just going to wait for it to hit my level. If it doesn't, it doesn't. So yeah, but in terms of bias and direction, I am bearish on this one to 35k, back to that support. We've had multiple attempts to go bullish here for Bitcoin. We found support many times. You can see there's daily candlesticks showing some nice wick rejection. We tried to go bullish many times, but the bears are still holding. I do think this is going to be the next major lower high for Bitcoin. So I do think these lows will get taken out. But yeah, Bitcoin looking bearish, and Ethereum pretty much the same thing as well. Again, very, very choppy price action, but each one of these moves to the upside, all those bullish candles are attempts for the market to go bullish. That's the way I see it. The market is trying to go bullish, but it's failing and it's rolling back over. So the bears are definitely in control. Now I'm looking at Ethereum coming back into this support level here at 2,500. So looking at some downside for bits as well. Hey, welcome to the stream. Could you please analyze gold and US30? Thank you as always, of course. What do you think about the index? Yeah, we'll take a look at the index as well. So yeah, I'll start with gold and I'll move to the US30, US 100, see what's cooking up with those guys. I already did analyze US30, but I'll run through that guy again. There's no harm in that. So yeah, gold, I'm looking at price coming down to 1930. not 1930, sorry, 1830, coming back into that level there. Really nice resistance going along here. Very, very key level, which when we did break through back in the February, we never got that retest. So I think that's where price is gunning for now for gold. You can see on the 4H time frame, really nice bearish structure as the market's working its way down. Got that low, lower high, low. That's the lower high, so obviously taking up those lows, even though it is technically above that high there. By just seeing that as a bit of a false move, retesting a very, very key level there and then dropping. So I'm looking at gold forming its next lower high for push back down into 1830. I've drawn out a little fib there as well, so giving some nice confidence at that level. It would be nice for price to come and retest this, but I'm afraid gold might not do that. We could maybe come up to here maybe and then roll over, because things are looking quite bearish. Momentum is definitely there with the bears, so we might not see that pullback. We might not have the energy to do it. But in terms of direction bias, gold, I'm looking at downside and targets at 1830 into that level, and these are the areas where I would expect that lower high to form. And then look for some signals in those areas. What's that? 1892 and 1872. Those are the two areas where I do have my eyes on, but again, this could drop at any time. It doesn't have to have that retracement. It could obviously just drop from here into that level. So there's that chance that price might do that. But as a swing trader, I always want price to give me that larger retracement to get involved. When it's there, I'm looking to get in. When it's not, I'll let things be. But 1830 is where I'm expecting price to go. And US 30, I just analysed this one at the start of the stream. And you can see by my drawings, I am bearish on US 30. I'm looking at price coming down into these lows here onto the daily time frame. This wick here at 32,200. I'm looking at price taking out this wick and going a little bit further into that 32 big psychological level, maybe further as well. But we just keep it to this wick for now. You can see if I zoom out a little bit, you can see the structure was bullish, higher highs and higher lows, but was shifting bearish now from that lower low, lower low, anticipating this to be the next lower high, anticipating this low to get taken out. So all in all, I'm just looking for sells and areas for that. Price pull back into this level. This is the first level where we could drop, and price action is looking good. So if you can maintain this momentum, I'm looking at US 30 coming back down into 32,200, which is the wick over there. But your first target can obviously be this support, but that's the real target for me. If we do break above that, we managed to get back above that because there's some support here. If we do hold this and break through, then that will be the second area I'm looking to short. US 30 forms some nice lower highs here, so we've got that lower high, maybe form a third one and then drop. Some nice resistance with the trend line and supply there. Can drop to the downside from there, but for me, US 30, I'm looking at price coming to those lows. It's just about where that next lower high will form. Will it form at 33,200, or will it work its way back up a little bit at 33,800? Either which way, I'm only looking at sells, and that wick is my target. So that's my analysis behind US 30. It does look good from here, so we might just drop. There is a price support on the daily, now turn resistance, so we might just drop from that. US 100, same bias. You can see prices just dropping to the downside there. Everything is still looking bearish here. Lower high after lower high after lower high. And again, I'm probably expecting there's that same thing. We've got this support here, which price tried to break through, failed to do that. So I do think we'll probably come and take that out level and drop again a little bit further. Again, I have to drop the higher time frames to work out my targets now, because we are taking out that support. But this here is a nice support to have, and then which is about 12,600, where we could see some upside, and if we can break through, we can see a lot more downside. This would be my next target after that. So if we can break through that, that would be the next target, which is what, 12,050. 12,050. So once you said volatility come and go over and over again, but if we are in a trending direction, our risk percentage decreases a little bit automatically. But here on pound week, Wait, what? Once you said volatility come and go over and over again, but if we are in a trending direction, our risk percentage decreases a little bit automatically. But here on pound weekly, yeah, I don't understand your question there, Sunny. Yeah, do you want to rephrase that? Because yeah, I just don't understand your question. So sorry, my bad. Yeah, sure thing. We'll take a look at USD ZAR. Yeah, oil. I'm still looking at oil coming down further as well. I'll look at oil in a second, but I'll start with USD ZAR. I'm still looking at oil coming down a little bit as well. So yeah, USD ZAR. I'm expecting price to drop for this one. But I do think we'll probably push a little bit higher, one more push into the daily highs there at 16.3, and then from there we could see some nice downside. But we do still have this bullish structure here, so I am playing with that, and then I'm looking for one more move down and then the push higher, and then from here we can start looking for those sells to roll over. But yeah, 15.85, if we can form a higher low from that, will be some nice buys in that area. Again, not really looking to trade this one, but if I was, this is probably what I'd be looking for. Push into, what was that, 16.25, and then from there, probably look for some sells. Again, wait for structure to change though. Don't look to sell it straight away, because we definitely could rally through this level and go higher even. So don't write off that possibility. But yeah, that's my analysis for USD ZAR, looking at buys from 15.86 to 16.25. And oil, yeah, oil dropped to the downside. I'm still looking at oil coming back down to 95, because like I said, we've got these lower highs here. Again, I wasn't really looking at oil this week, so it's an opportunity missed, but for me it's not really missed because I wasn't really looking for it. But yeah, oil still giving me those lower highs, so I'm looking at this one dropping a lot further. And if I am right, there would be a lot more opportunities on the way for oil, so nothing really to worry about. Especially if you're trading the lower time frame for this, I do think we'll probably get some nice highs to work with, some nice structure, and targets at 95. So the only way I'll look to change that bias is if we start taking out this high up here, and then I'll change my bias. But other than that, oil to 95 is what I'm expecting, and this could be the next lower high. It's just slowly rolling over here, so if we can maintain that, stay below it, probably drop further to the downside and 95, and then if we can break through 95, looking at price coming right down to the lows here. What was that, 91.90? So you can see some more downside. Hello, I'm streaming from Kenya. Wicked. Please shed some light on what we should be expecting on NFT fundamental news on this Friday. Yeah, I have no idea. For fundamental, I'm not really looking too much into the NFP. Really. Again, what I've seen of the NFP of recently, it hasn't been the NFP of past. We normally see wicks in either direction, but in terms of like the bigger move of what NFP could do, I'm still expecting some dollar strength. So on NFP, when it comes out, we could see the candle open, wicks to the upside, wicks to the downside, maybe a range of 30-40 pips, maybe 50 if you're lucky. And then maybe into the next week Monday, next week Tuesday, I'm expecting to see some dollar strength off the back of that. So I'm still expecting dollar strength overall. So that's what I'm leaning towards. But in terms of actually when NFP happens and trading NFP, for me it's really a losing battle, because normally what we've seen on recent NFP announcements, price kind of just wicks in both direction, and it doesn't really give us too much momentum really. A few years ago, NFP, we normally saw some bigger moves like 100 pips and price would really get going. But what we've seen recently is normally consolidation really, not much in that. So if you're looking to trade NFP exclusively, again, I've never really done that before, so not really the best person to ask that, to actually trade the NFP. But in terms of direction for dollar, I'm still looking for strength. So hopefully that can answer your question. But yeah, I'm never really one to trade NFP. I mean, I have been in trades during NFP, as a swing trader. I normally am in trades when news are coming out, but I'm not exclusively trying to trade NFP or interest rates or anything like that. That sell off, I had everything but changed my mind because I never traded oil. Yeah, that's just the mind playing tricks on you, King City. There, a little bit of doubt stops you taking the trade. I mean, after all, your strategy is your strategy. The way you approach the market, should be the same with every every pair, every market. Sometimes you can look to alter a little bit because maybe a certain pair moves a little bit differently. But at the end of the day, you just got that strategy. You got to play that out, take the losses, take the wins. And yeah, it's always the times where everything does set up right, but you have some doubt in your mind because of this or that. You don't take the trade and you see it play out, then you're like, oh, should have just took the trade. But yeah, I've been in that situation many times, but you just got to back yourself, King City, back yourself. On pound AD, I over and over doing question. After it, I suddenly feel why I'm doing that is I'm trying to prove wrong you, as I know at the end I will wrong. Sorry for that. No problem, Sonny. I mean, we're just trying to learn. We're just trying to learn. On the stream, that's what it's all about. So no need to try and prove anyone wrong. If they are wrong, they're wrong. If they're right, they're right. It's all about what do you take from that. Taking that value there. There's many times where I've called out moves on the stream and being completely wrong. I'll note that down and learn from that. But yeah, I could be wrong, I could be right. I have no idea until the actual play does happen. Oh, we shift bullish there a little bit. Nice little push. But yeah, I mean, again, this trade here, it's a swing trade. It's going to take probably the whole week if it does play out. So, once I've taken the trade, I'm not really too focused on it. I'm just waiting for price to do its thing, either come against me, stop me out and fail, or play out. But yeah, there'll be times where it hits the moving average and it rejects it and goes against me. There'll be times where it just breaks through the moving average and I anticipated it correctly. Trading is not about getting it right every time. It's not about making money. It's about actually trading and following that process. Money, like I always say, is just it's a side effect of what you do in the market. And if you're making the right decisions consistently, not necessarily right decisions as you're making money every time, but just right decisions as you're following a certain system, then you will be rewarded. You will be rewarded. And if you're not, the opposite will happen. On which high time frame do you start your analysis when you are using demand and supply strategy? I don't really have a demand and supply strategy. Supply and demand are things that I do look out for. Like for this trade here, I was definitely looking at this kind of zone here of demand there, which we tapped into. But I'm not really looking at supply and demand as that's my specific strategy. My strategy is based on candlesticks and market structure. And that's how I base my strategy. Supply and demand is confluence to me, like support and resistance, like trend lines, like moving averages, fib. That I just use supply and demand as confluence. But my analysis normally starts on the weekly or the monthly. It depends, because I do like to get the frame of the week, like know the highs and lows of the week. Like for example, this support level here, I know that's prior week's low. You can see the wick. This is last week's candle, big wick to the downside. So I know this is the low of the week, and we're coming into that low. So I know there will be a reaction from this level. And obviously up here is the highs of the week. So I normally start on the weekly time frame, knowing the lows of the highs. But if the weekly is a little bit choppy, then I would jump to the monthly to see if there's a bit more clarity there. But normally my analysis starts on the weekly. If not, if it's too messy, I'll start on the monthly. But normally the weekly, then I move to daily, 4H, and then execution is on the hourly time frame for me. So yeah, I do use multiple time frames, but normally start on the weekly and work my way down to the daily 4H, and then when I get an entry signal, it's on the hourly, and that's when I take my trade. But yeah, supply and demand, I don't base my strategy around that. I know a lot of people do, especially smart money concept is normally based a lot around supply and demand, and supply and demand is very, very powerful, but that's just not how I base all my trading. Sometimes I use supply and demand, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm only focused on support and resistance, sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm focused on trend line. Yeah, it does differ. It does differ. Wow, Usdchf is dropping. So obviously in this scenario, because again this is a setup that I did give out my Telegram, you like to enter both trades, but I know for a fact that it's best for me just to work with one, because over time it just gets a bit too stressful to be working with two trades of the same currency. I'd rather just double my risk on one than take both, even though that's not what I did. But yeah, Usdchf shorts for that one, AD CAD shorts for that one, AD USD shorts for that one as well. Expecting 0.7 there. AD Usdchf I'm expecting 0.674. AD CAD I'm expecting 0.89089. And we're throwing a bonus one, Euro UD. I'm looking at back to highs at 1.51. Well, 1.50500 is the highs, but I'm looking at 1.51. So yeah, again, because I trade a lot of markets, again, there's no need for me to trade so many different pairs, because if I just talk you through all AUD pairs, you've got AD CAD, you've got Pound AUD, you've got AD Usdchf, you've got Euro AUD, you've got AD USD, you've got AD USD, you've got AD JPY, you've got AD NZD. There's so many AUD pairs to trade, but I don't have to trade all AUD pairs, because my analysis behind them is normally the same. Because I'm not going to be looking to buy AD JPY and sell AD USD. Doesn't make any sense. So I'm always looking for the best one, and then for that particular currency that I deem the best, I'll focus on that one for the week. Or sometimes I'll look at two and just see which one will give me a signal, because sometimes some don't quite come to my area I'm looking for, so other one might do. But yeah, I only do need to trade one. It's either I'm right on all of them, or wrong on all of them, really, but we will see. So JPY pairs seeing some downside here, CAD JPY falling a little bit, GJ falling quite nicely there. So again, I'm still long on these guys. I'm waiting for some buying opportunities, and like always, I'll let you know. I'll let you know on my Telegram if I do get any setups for them. Like I did post the Pound AUD setup a couple of hours ago now, but I'm looking at the longs for them. And again, the structure is still bearish. I'm not trying to jump in straight away and just anticipate price going bullish. I'm gonna wait for a bit more evidence. And CAD would be nice if we do come into 100 as well. But yeah, we'll see how these guys play out. But yeah, I'm only in Pound AUD. AD Usdchf's dropping quite nicely. I'm looking at AD CAD coming a little bit higher, but it might not do that. I'll keep an eye out for that area. But that is still the target for this one. And USDCAD, USDCAD's still pushing. Come down, man, come down. I want this one to be traced, but it's still pushing higher. All well, all well. I mean, I'll still wait for the retracement, of course. There is this level here that I came pretty close to, but I didn't retest. So I'm still going to wait for that retracement. It could still happen, but there's a chance that we might just fly. But yeah, there's about 10 minutes left of the stream. So yeah, any other questions, share any trades, any analysis, or you want me to analyze a pair, let me know. Or even if you work on the lower time frames, I can analyze the lower time frames as well. So if you do want me to look at a certain pair on the lower time frames, let me know. So may I share an entry signal strategy video on Telegram if you permit? Yeah, you can post it on the Telegram one. The second Telegram channel is for communicating. So if you do want to share other things, you can share that as well if you want. There's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, the main one's for me to post my analysis and my setups on that one. And if people are looking to join that, there's a link in the description to that Telegram, or if you scroll to the top of the chat, there is a link to the Telegram there as well. Hey Sam, so what is your advice to beginner trader when trying to make judgment on how many news can directly influence market structure? Well, to beginner trader, I would say mainly to be focused. Well, it depends. It depends because one beginner trader, like certainly when I was starting trading, I'm 100% focused on technicals. Technicals is what really captured my eye, and that's what I was focused on. So all my skill and all my effort went into learning how technicals worked on the market. So I wasn't really paying attention to any fundamentals. So I was just focusing on price action. But I would say if I was starting again, I would keep an eye on the fundamentals. So there are definitely there are a lot of different sites you can look to read some articles on. I'll probably just keep an eye on those articles. Read them just to understand what is actually going on in the market, so you're actually aware why things are moving, why things are doing this and that, X, Y, and Z. But I can only preach what I practice, and that is definitely technicals over fundamentals, because for me I can really map out what fundamentals will do just based on technical analysis. Not all the time, of course, but 75% of the time it normally does work. So yeah, if I was saying this beginner trader, I would say learn the technicals, because technicals they work across all different markets. Doesn't matter what you're trading, technicals will keep you in the game. They'll keep you in the game if you can understand them and use them. So I'd say focus on your technicals, but just keep aware of what's going on fundamentally, and then maybe when you get your technicals to a good game, you can actually start to work on your fundamentals to get that to a good standard as well. But the foundation is all about the technicals. If you don't have the technicals, you're a bit lost. Doesn't matter how much fundamental knowledge you have, you can't really place and exit and get out trades consistently if you don't have any technical knowledge. Best way to react to news. Best way to react to news is always for me. I don't know. It's best for the day traders. Well, could be actually, but for me, it's always about the long-term effect. Like, what do you expect long-term? And when I mean long-term, I mean next, 2-3 months for dollar, next 2-3 months for euro, next 2-3 months for Aussie. So that's the kind of way that best suits me to fundamentals, because then if Aussie's going to be weak, possibly weak for the next 2-3 months. I could look, is the technicals backing that up? If it is, cool, we've got some nice confidence going on. But I would never look to trade a news announcement because it's released and because it's gone higher than expected or lower than expected. I will never try and trade that just because it's just been released. That's for me just gambling, really. There probably is some strategies to trade releases, but yeah, I've never really done that before, and I can't really see too much success in that in being sustainable. So yeah, if you want to react to news, best way to do it is look at the forecast for the next 2-3 months, because that will give you good bias to look through. If you are a day trader, you're looking for buys for the next 2-3 months, or more or less buys. If the technicals are matching, if you're a swing trader, look to hold your trades a little bit longer, not for 2-3 months, but you could be in and out every few days, getting involved. But yeah, for me, news is a bit more longer the way I look at it. I don't really look at, okay, we're getting an NFP announcement today, I better buy or sell. That's not really me. If I'm in a trade and NFP is coming out, cool, I'll see if I can get my stop loss to break even. If I can't, and I'll let things be. But yeah, most of the time news moves it in my direction anyway, so I'm not really too bothered about news. There will be times where it does come against me, but that's just a part of it. But yeah, if you're looking for a best way to react to news and like to buy it and sell it as it's getting released, yeah, I wouldn't know that, because for me it's all about technicals. If technicals saying it's going up, I'm looking for buys. If technicals saying down, I'm looking for sells. Doesn't really matter what the news is saying. There's many times where the news has said opposite to what technicals are saying, and then it will kind of fake in one direction and then go the direction of technicals. Seen that many times, so I'm always going to favour the technical direction. Calm down, please. Yeah, I mean, I do want Usdchf to come down, but it's deep pushing. So yeah, I do want this to come down so I can actually find a trade for it, because it keeps pushing. I mean, I'm looking for trades for Usdchf since last week. I was looking for some retracement, didn't quite meet my criteria last week, so I'm hoping this week we might see some retracement. It's still pushing. I know it's only Tuesday, so there's definitely room for retracement. But yeah, I do want it to come down. I'm not kidding. I do want it to come down, and I'm expecting oil to be a little bit weak as well. So that hopefully, actually no, that's bad, because if oil is weak, that means CAD will be weak, that means Usdchf will go up. Okay, that's not too good, so it might push on without me, who knows. I'm just setting an alert. Might be a tangent. Do Greeks apply to Forex? No, not what I know of. I mean, are you talking about like fundamentals that happen in Greece? I mean, that probably will affect Euro somehow, some way, but yeah, it's not really the best person to answer that question, because if I get something in the technicals, I'm buying or selling. But yeah, I would assume so. But yeah, that's something that you would have to research into. You know, I wouldn't have the exact question for that. I mean, the exact answer for that, sorry. But I would assume so. Okay, what's Euro pound doing? Oh wow, Euro pound just shot back up. I mean, as long as it stays below that level, I'm still bearish on it. If it breaks through, then I'm looking at these highs. Look at those highs up there. But yeah, I'm currently in pound AUD, so we're going to see how this one gets going. It's retraced a little bit back now, but again, I'm not really focused on, even though I've entered this one on the hourly time frame, I'll probably just be managing this one on the 4H, because it's going to take its time to play out, and I don't want to be looking at every single candle closure. Some will be bullish, some will be bearish, or play with your emotions. There's no point really doing that. You know, I do have quite a bit of a stop loss, so there's room to work with if price wants to come back down and retest the level. Best just to set alerts, you know, above that. Oh, that's the wrong place. So that's there, wait for price to either hit the alert, or you know, hit the alerts for your TPs, and just let price play. So I'll probably check this one every 2 hours or every 4 hours. Let price be. Keep an eye on Usdchf to see that one come down. Keep an eye on pound JPY. I can get some longs for that one. Looks like it's coming back down to that support. CAD as well. If it can come back to 100, I'll look for some longs here and get involved with that one. But yeah, that is it for me for now. Pound Usdchf drop. I think pound might be a little bit weak. Yeah, it is, well, compared to Euro pound anyway. That's pushing. Maybe Euro AUD would have been a better buy. Oh well, we'll see. But yeah, guys, we are coming to the end of the stream. I forgot to say to like the video. My bad. But yeah, if you guys have been enjoying the stream, please do drop a like. It does really help the channel out. It helps the stream out, reach more people. That'll be great if that was to happen. But yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the stream, finding it useful. If you are, like the video, subscribe if you haven't done already. Join the family. Everyone is welcome here. Happy to have you guys on board. Hit the bell. Don't want to miss out on any uploads in the future. I will be live again tomorrow, and I do have a video again coming out tomorrow after the stream. Some technical tips that I do have planned for you guys there. So we'll be posting a video tomorrow after the stream, so do look out for that. I will be live tomorrow, same time, 10 to 12 a.m. To 12 p.m. and then I will be live on Thursday as well. So I do hope I see you guys tomorrow and Thursday. Again, if I do get anything, I'll stick it on the Telegram as always, but currently, as you can see, I'm in pound AUD, so we'll see how that gets going. I'll update you guys tomorrow, see what happens during the trade. I'll keep an eye out for the pairs I'm looking out for, but currently nothing I'm going to get involved in right now. I'm just going to see how that trade plays out. And if I do get anything, I'll let you know in the Telegram. But I hope you all have a great day. Stay safe in the markets. Don't go and blow any accounts. And yeah, have a good one. No problem, Richard. Happy to help, bro. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.